What's up guys, this is Dave from Gamebreakers and welcome to the Gamebreakers World Cup Diary. Did you see the first couple of games in this year's World Cup? I mean, what a brilliant start this was. Brazil opening the tournament, their tournament, with an opening ceremony which, to be honest, I didn't really understand what they were doing. There was Brazilian dancing, they were singing on this weird orb flower thing. I didn't really get the opening ceremony, so we'll just sort of bin that and move on to the opening game, Brazil versus Croatia. And again, as I said, brilliant start for Brazil. You know, they couldn't have got a much better start with Marcelo. What fantastic, you know, that whatever the tactic was, right, that's exactly what he had to do. That was fantastic goal. I applaud you, Marcelo, scoring in your own net. Brilliant, fantastic, brilliant start for Brazil. 1 goal down through an own goal. You know, Marcelo putting through his own net. You know, that's exactly what Brazil wanted to do, and they did it perfectly. Even social media was confused because on Twitter they were showing it as Brazil 1, Croatia 0 after that goal for like 10 minutes, and then realised, oh hang on, no, it's Croatia who've scored because Brazil have put through their own net. But then 30 minutes, Neymar, he restores, puts the script back to how it should be, really, and restores faith in the Brazilian fans and the country itself with a goal after 30 minutes. Second half there was a dubious penalty. Brazil score it, Croatia have a disallowed goal, and then Oscar rounds off the scoring. So that was the first game. That was a decent game. The Mexico-Cameroon game I didn't really properly see because, you know, I missed the first half and then sort of had the second half on but was busy doing other things, so I didn't really catch that game, so can't really comment on it. But, you know, the game ended how that game ended, which, you know, when I started watching it, it was Mexico 1-0 up. And that's how it finished. So, I didn't really miss much. I mean, saw the goal in the second half. Wasn't really much. But, you know, Cameroon are the only team that haven't scored yet in this World Cup. So, you know, that's that. I mean, only the Group A and Group B matches have been played. So, you know, the first 4 matches, they're done and dusted. So, you know, after 4 games, Cameroon haven't scored. Anyway, moving on. And Spain versus the Netherlands. This was the repeat game from the final 4 years ago. And either Spain had an off day, Spain didn't play well, or the Netherlands played brilliantly, because Spain, the holders, got thrashed 5-1 by the Netherlands. Now, I did say in PES Predicts, I know I wouldn't mention this series in this video diary, but, you know, I may have to sometimes. I said in PES Predicts that it'll probably be a draw, but there'll definitely be goals. I was wrong on the it'll be a draw front, but I did promise goals, and, you know, goals did deliver. There were 6 of them. Funnily enough, Spain were 1-0 up at one point, and then the Dutch came back and put 5 past them. So that was that. And then, in the final game of the night, Chile versus Australia, it looked like Chile were going to be rampant after 10 minutes. Alexis Sanchez opens the scoring, with Chile's first sort of real attack of the game, really, the first real threat to the Aussie goal. 2 minutes later it was 2-0. Divia, I don't know. I can't pronounce some of the names. If I do pronounce them wrong, do apologise. But yeah, so it was 2-0 after 13 minutes, and I was thinking, you know what, this is going to be a rout. This is going to be, you know, Chile are going to annihilate Australia here, because they were rampant. 34 minutes though, Tim Cahill brings it back, and then throughout the second half, with the score at 2-1, Chile struggled sort of throughout the second half. From what I was seeing is they were getting to the edge of the Australian box, and then were stopping and then were going backwards. They were having shots, but they were getting blocked. So, you know, Australia were playing well. They were playing on the counter. And I thought, you know what? Australia might get this equaliser here, which, to be honest, I think they deserved it on the second half performance. I mean, they didn't play well first half, but second half, you know, they were on the counter-attack and they defended the Chilean threat really well, because it was all Chile pretty much throughout the entire game. But Chile do score in second half stoppage time to make it 3-1 and basically just kill the game off. So, like I said, what a brilliant start to this World Cup. That was what's happened in that game, the actual games of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. That's what's happened so far. In my opinion, you know, there's been goals, you know, and goal line technology works. I mean, we've seen it, obviously, for the first time for Marcelo's goal. They didn't really need to show it, but they did for the sake of showing us TV viewers how it works. But it was used in the Chile-Australia match. Chile had a shot, and I thought it was going to be 3-1 after about, I think it was 70 or 80 minutes. This was before the third goal went in. And Australia cleared it off the line, and I thought it was in. And then I thought, no, it's not in. And then they showed the goal line technology replay, and it was literally millimetres. The ball was millimetres from fully crossing the line. So they were literally millimetres away from making it 3-1, and then obviously they would have scored and probably made it 4 later on in that match, but they didn't. So, yeah, like I said, great start, absolutely fantastic start to this World Cup. And, yeah, as I said, you know, goals galore, goal line technology is working. People are saying the referees are a bit dodgy. Yeah, there was a dubious penalty given in the first game. And people are saying in the Spain-Netherlands game there was a dubious penalty given to Spain. Both of which were scored. And, you know, they're saying the referees should be, you know, clamped down on diving and stuff. But that's now the modern game. That's what football has come to. So players, the top players will be, you know, falling on the floor to try and gain an advantage. And because they are one of the top players and they do it all the time in the league, they know how to disguise it so it looks like they've been touched. But if somebody gets sent off because of this, no, I don't feel it is right, and I do feel that the card should be sort of rescinded and taken off them, but it won't be because it's the World Cup. Another thing I need to comment about that I have not mentioned is it's sort of goal line technology is all big in this World Cup, but something that's sort of not featured as much is vanishing spray. If you notice, the referees have a canister clipped to the shorts. What that is, it's a can of vanishing spray. They basically mark a circle where the ball should go on a free kick, and they spray a line where the wall should be. It vanishes after a minute, so you aren't going to get all weird circles and lines all over the pitch. But I have seen it used in the Chile-Australia game. I think it was the Australian wall crept forward a little bit. There was Chilean players in the wall, but the Australian wall crept forward a little bit. The referee spotted it and knew they had, because they was, you know, over this line, so he knew they'd gain an advantage, and he just told them to, you know, get back over the line. There is a line there now, so any encroachment, you know, is clearly visible. So, you know, that basically says don't encroach. And we're going to see it in the Champions League next season as well, the 2014-15 Champions League. So, bringing it into, I wouldn't say the English game, but, you know, if it's done in the Champions League, English teams will obviously have to face it. England will have to face it anyway. And yeah, bring it into the Premier League, and then it'll develop into other leagues, and then, yeah, it's something that needs to be addressed, in my opinion. It's only a minor thing. I mean, goal line technology was more, you know, of a major thing. Minor thing is this vanishing spray, but at least it stops encroachment for free kicks, and that's only recently happened in the past couple of years. Walls creeping forward. People used to do it every so often and get away with it, but now you see it a lot more, and it's starting to get punished. And it's something that it's a silly yellow card to pick up, really. So I think that's why FIFA have implemented vanishing spray to, you know, stop this, you know, people getting silly yellow cards. But something they have said is it's a brand new invention. It's not a brand new invention. People have been using it in South America for years, and not only that, I remember about 10 years ago seeing a news story on TV about it, you know, in these like, you know, somewhere in this foreign league, you know, used it. It was on one of these, it was a news type story, but it wasn't on a news sort of program. It was more on this like kids sports show, where they were going around different countries showing off different sports, and they were showing football in some country in Europe. I think it was somewhere like Iceland, and they were using it in like an under-17s game. So they've been using it for years. Okay, it's not a brand new invention. It's not newly invented in the South American football. It's not. It's been around for years, right? It's just never been acknowledged as, you know, being there until recently. Right, so anyway, I've sort of gone on for myself a little bit for about, what, nearly 11 minutes now, and yeah. So, as I said, I'm going to sort of stop because I'm going on far too long. That was the first sort of, well, the second episode, but the first sort of recount, really, of the goings-on in the 2014 FIFA World Cup, in the Gamebreakers World Cup Diary. So please check back for more. And, yeah, I've been Dave from Gamebreakers, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.